The second thing you need to learn how to do well in order to successfully complete Applying the Quality Matters workshop is provide helpful and effective recommendation to your colleagues. The easiest way to do this is just straight up follow what QM is asking for. They're asking for recommendations that include 5 components. The recommendations need to be written in a way that they are sensitive and balanced, they are constructive, and they're specific and measurable. In a previous Quality Matters workshop that we took, they shared with us what they call the sandwich approach. I personally really like the sandwich approach, mostly because it's hard for me to remember 5 things, but it's real easy for me to remember 3 things: a compliment, the QM rubric, and a recommendation. Every recommendation that you write, if you make sure that it has those 3 components, you will get it right. By a compliment, we mean sensitive and balanced. We're talking about colleagues here. It's not Big Bird, you as a reviewer, feeding Little Bird, faculty that doesn't know what they're doing. We're working with colleagues. Pretend that you're sitting around the table, you've got a course in front of you, and you're looking out for the student. So the goal of reviewing a course and bringing it up to best practices in online course design is for the benefit of the student. Everything we do is for the benefit of the student. If we remember what QM calls a sandwich approach, the compliment, the rubric, and the recommendation, it doesn't matter how horrible the course has been designed. There's always something good that you can find that you can praise the instructor for. You've got to find something that you can thank the professor for doing. If they have learning objectives in the class, even if they're not written in a measurable manner, you can still say this is great. The second point of the sandwich approach, it cannot be when you write recommendations, it cannot be I think you should do this, or in my class I do thus and such. That's just your opinion. And working among colleagues, what makes your opinion any better than what the instructor, who knows the content that he wants to or she wants to provide the students, design the course around? So basically, if you just share your recommendations, your opinion, it can be easily dismissed. What you need to do is anchor your recommendation on established guidelines, best practices in online course design. For our purposes, those guidelines are the Quality Matters rubric and, of course, Bloom's taxonomy just as well. So, you start with a compliment, meaning you look for something that you can say that the professor has done well. You encourage the professor. You tell them, this is phenomenal. You did this and this and this. This is really good. Then you say, the Quality Matters rubric asks for, and you need to cite it. You have to put standard 4.1 or standard 3.2, whatever the standard it is that applies to the section of the course that you're reviewing. You actually cite it, and it's even good if you actually quote it or paraphrase it within your recommendation. And the third leg of the stool, the third part of the sandwich approach, is that the recommendation that you give needs to be specific and measurable. You should not just tell the professor your learning objectives are not measurable. You need to suggest to them perhaps they might want to look into Bloom's and assign levels that align the course components to what the module level objective or the course level objectives is all about. And it is advisable that you actually write that particular learning objective for them. So you can say, for example, you could write it in such a way that it reads like this, and then you write it out for them. So 3 things. If you remember these 3 things when you are posting to the forums, you will not have to revise anything. You will be nailing what this workshop is asking for. It's asking you to provide pretty much for every single forum posting that you make the type of recommendation that Quality Matters asks for. And that would be one that includes these 5 components, is sensitive and balanced, constructive, specific, and measurable. And if you're following the sandwich approach, you start with a compliment, you cite the literature, in this case the rubric, Bloom's taxonomy, and then you offer a recommendation. And these 3 components of the sandwich approach are written in the way that this announcement described for you. We are wanting